Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you all are doing good and well. If you're brand new here, my name is Nikki, and in today's video, it's another monthly manicures, but we're diving into the summer months of July and August. My last monthly mani video, oh my goodness, that was long. I didn't realize how long it was until I edited it, and I was like, dang, but it was too late to do it over again. So I was just like, hey, I threw caution to the wind and I uploaded it. So thank you. My watch time showed that most of you guys watched at least half of it, so thank you to anybody who made it to the end. But in this video, it's gonna be a bit shorter because I did wear a lot of mismatched manis. I know looks are deceiving, I know, but I didn't wear all these individually, so we are going to get into it. I know a lot of you like the monthly manicure videos. Again, thank you for making it to the end of the last one. So let's just get into this one. The very first one I wore is from Kathleen and Co. This is called Follow Your Dreams. Came out in PPU of 2024 for the book covers theme. This is based off the book cover The Alchemist, which is a book that I've been recommended to read plenty of times, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But this one is a beautiful shimmer, and it goes from this pinkish red to a gold to a bit of an orange as well. I think the gold in there is mostly the shimmer. This was a great formula, covered really nicely in 2 coats. I know one of my nails is short. I think it was my middle finger, and I don't know, I just have issues because my nails take a long time to grow now. I think I need to start taking more biotin or something like that. I just don't mind it when they're different lengths. It doesn't bother me as long as they're not like so off, you know. But I did really like this one. I think it's a nice transitional shade to summer to fall as well, but it's also just a great summer polish as well. It looks absolutely stunning in the sun, and I did get a lot of compliments on this, so I think it's definitely one of my favorite polishes from the brand. I only have 3, but there's something about Kathleen and Co that is very luxurious to me, and it's really hard to get them because they don't ship to Canada, so the only place I can really get them is PPU. Not all their offerings speak to me, but this one definitely did because it was a dupe for Polish for Days in Bloom, which I never got my hands on, but I saw a comparison of this one to that one, and this one seems more vibrant, so I'm happy that I have it in my collection now. So that was Kathleen and Co's Follow Your Dreams. After that, I threw on ILNP's Aria, which is a light sky blue linear hollow. This one, I feel like this one is a very underrated pick from ILNP. Not enough people talk about it, maybe because, you know, it's just a hollow and not everybody's into hollows, and I'm not either, but hollows have to be a certain kind of oomph. They have to look really good in indoor lighting and outdoor lighting, but especially in indoor lighting because, you know, with our indie polishes, we want them to just shine to the max. And even if it's just a hollow, I want to see that linear hollow in indoor especially, and this one delivered. It is such a gorgeous blue. Blue is one of my favorite colors to wear on my nails, so I had no fear of getting this one on my nails because it's not coveted enough for the brand, but it really should be talked about more, so I'm talking about it now. It was gorgeous, especially for the summertime. So that was ILNP's Aria. Next, I wore my first mismatch manis of the month. I wore Wildflower Lacquer Snakeskin 2.0 on my left hand, and then I wore Polish for Days Ikaika on my right hand. Polish for Days Ikaika is absolutely stunning. It is a teal flaky with flakies that shift from a blue to teal to a bit of yellow too. This one looks like a lush Brazilian rainforest on your nails. It was completely electrifying. The flakies honestly just came alive. They kind of look grazed on the nail a bit, which gave it a really cool effect. As for Wildflower Lacquer Snakeskin 2.0, maybe because it was a 2.0, because I don't remember what the original one looked like. I just know that I saw this in her winter rewind and I really wanted it. So I didn't dislike this one, but I didn't love it either, just because I wanted the flakies in there to be a lot more pronounced, and they were a lot more subdued on my nails. But these together did look really nice. I have Bee's Knees Lacquer's Patio Furniture Topper, which has the same flakies that are in here, so I could just use that over this when I wear it a second time and see if I like it. So I'm not going to stash it because, you know, it's mid for me, so I'm gonna see if I can amp it up with that Bee's Knees Lacquer Tombow. But this was a great summer manicure with these two. It was giving me complete mermaid vibes, especially with the polish for days. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So this one I'll have to try again, but the polish for days is staying with me. Second mismatch mani, one comes from ILNP. This is called Citrus Punch. And the second one is Sweet and Sour Lacquers Grapefruit. These looked so gorgeous together. It was a great beach time manicure. I went to the park with my nieces and my nephew, and I couldn't stop staring at it in the sun. It was so pretty. Citrus Punch is a really interesting coral, and I don't like corals on my nails, but this one just shined. It has a bit of scattered hollow in there with a gold shimmer, and these are the kind of corals that I like that don't make my hands look big, because corals tend to make my hands look gargantuan, but this one was just the right amount to make them look normal sized. Sweet and Sour Lacquers Grapefruit is an awesome shimmer. It does have a bit of nail line after, I want to say I did 2 coats in my swatch, but I honestly don't remember. I think it was 2 coats though, but this one I will have to wear a blurring line base coat with it, but it also could make a really nice topper in the summer as well. Maybe over some yellows or some greens. Oh, maybe even black. Yeah, black would look good with this on. But I love these two together. They were really fun. Citrus Punch is one that I've wanted to get on my nails for some time now because I've seen it swatched on other people and I loved it. So these two were awesome together. For a second time, I got Dreamland Lacquers Shake Your Shamrock on my toes. I just love this. Has a pedicure color. It's just nice and fun and summery, and I'm not the biggest fan of neons, but this one has a pretty strong blue shimmer in here. I have worn it once on my nails, but it still remains an untried because I haven't taken a picture with it yet. So this may just be a toe color in my collection. I'm not really sure yet. But I do like how it glows under black light. That's the first time I wore it, and I did enjoy it on my fingers. So I probably will enjoy it on my fingers, let's be real, but I feel like I just want to keep this as a pedicure color in my collection. But that was the second time I got it on my toes, and of course I knew I loved it. I basically just kept it on for the whole month and it stayed like spackle. Love polishes that do that. So that was Dreamland Lacquers Shake Your Shamrock. Third mismatch mani. First half is Monarch's Truth or Dare, and the second half comes from KB Shimmer. This is called Aim to Breeze. These were so beautiful together. I knew they would look gorgeous because they each have that strong blue shimmer in each of them. The Truth or Dare has a bit more of a vibrant one, and the KB Shimmer, I was surprised at how translucent the formula still was on my nails after 3 coats. So this is another one that I'm going to have to use a blurring line base coat. I feel like I just like to test all my polishes without a blurring line base coat yet, see how they perform, and then I'll know if I have to wear it the second time. So that's just kind of how I roll. I feel like this is a great summer color, but it's also kind of a great obscure pick for Halloween too. I know she did come out with one. Well, there's been siblings of this one that have been exclusive to PBE that the maker has put on her website as well. But she did release an orange one in September's PPU, but I didn't pick up this one because I'm just content with having the original and sticking to my low buy. I love that for me. These two were so fun. I wore them for quite some time and they're both staying with me. I knew this would be a great mismatch mani. One with the glitters in there and then one without. It was best of both worlds, so these two are staying. After that, I threw on ILNP's Jellybean, which I did pick up in my May purchase when they were having like a minimal price increase. I really didn't need all of them, but I bought them anyway. And this is one of my top picks from their spring collection, I think this was. It was either spring or summer, I'm not remembering right now. But this one is a bold Kelly green polish, and then it does have some scattered hollow in there. So in my swatch picture, it still shows a bit of my nail line, so I think next time I wear this, I'm going to have to do it in 3 coats, or of course just wear a blurring line base coat. But I did enjoy this color. It was really bold. My niece also really likes it too. She's worn it twice now. To me, this was definitely the best pick out of that. I think it was called the Sweet Tooth collection. I wanted a green like this in my collection for some time. There was one that came out by Pinnacle Polish in the junk food theme for PPU, and it was called Lime Skittle. So I was happy when ILNP released this because I was like, yes, I need a bold Kelly green jelly in my collection. And it's very, very cute. But like I said, I didn't like it as much because I could see through my nail line. You know what? This could even be a nice Christmas color as well. It may be just a bit too summery to do so, but just to get it on again, I might wear it in December. So we will see. But I did enjoy this one, but I think I would like it more in 3 coats. Had a great formula as well. Fourth mismatch Mani, we're talking about China Glaze's Sugar Junkie and L.A Colors. I'm trying to remember this one's called Chaotic. So I did love the China Glaze Sugar Junkie. This is a beautiful pink cream, and it's bright enough to get your nails noticed without being a neon. It has a lot of white in it, which makes it really bright and fun for the summer. Gorgeous formula. It also reminds me of one of China Glaze's pinks called Rich and Famous, and I loved that one, and this one is kind of like a little sister to that one. I miss China Glaze a lot, and I really hope they do come out with, you know, maybe a winter collection or a holiday collection, maybe a spring collection next year, who knows. But I did love this one. It might just be one of my favorite China Glazes in my collection, or just for the summertime. Pink is always nice for the summertime. I wore a lot of pink. So LA Colors Chaotic. I did like this one, but I feel like it looks better in my swatch pics than it does on my nails. The pink shimmer is not, I caught it, I mean, I took a pretty good picture of it where it's showing the pink shimmer pretty boldly, but you know, without flash or not under light, it's kind of dull. So, and it does have a pretty thin formula. It's a jelly formula, or I should say crelly kind of. So I thought the shimmer would come out a bit more, but they did look good together because the pink shimmer in this one complemented the pink that is Sugar Junkie. So these went together well, but I did gravitate more towards Sugar Junkie. So I most likely will be destashing the LA Colors one, which is so sad because I can't even get LA Colors here in Canada. I don't see them. I got this in the States. So hopefully, if I ever go back to the States at this point, I'll gander and find some more because I actually do like this brand. I do have a few from them. This is just one that, you know, I wasn't really feeling that much, but these two together were really, really nice. My next mismatch Mani comes from Morgan Taylor and Starrily. The Morgan Taylor is called Sunrise and the City. This is my one and only from the brand. Beautiful color, this one. The flip in here, it just comes out so well in the sun. It's kind of like this pink shimmer with the copper toned base, the orangey copper toned base. Oh, these colors go together so well. I do have another one by Cupcake Polish called Heart of Iceland that is similar, but the shimmer is more prominent in the Cupcake Polish. And this one, you can see more brown than the shimmer in it, or copper. But I do still really like both. And this is my first try from Morgan Taylor, and it had great staying power as well. I've heard a lot about Morgan Taylor, but I don't purchase a lot, and this one made me want to purchase some more. So if I ever, well, when I do go into Sally's, I'm going to take a gander at their colors, but I did enjoy this one. And then on my right hand, I put on Starry's Fairy Floss. It is a magnetic that is so beautiful on the nail. The base is orange, and the magnetic line is yellow, and there's a bit of pink, and there's a lot of pink in here actually. This one is really unique. I've been enjoying magnetics more and more, even though they do take a long time. I think they're worth it, and these went together really well. I did not want to take this off. It was just the perfect, I like to wear transitional shades throughout the summer, and for me this definitely was a transitional shade, and this one is just straight summer for me. It was beautiful. So I picked a magnetic Monday and then a mainstream Monday, all in one for these two. So beautiful. I think Fairy Floss is one of my favorites that I've worn this year. It's a very, very unique polish, and even though Starrily is on the more expensive side, I think this one was well well worth the time and the money. So that was Starrely's Fairy Floss and Morgan Taylor's Sunrise in the City. And the last mismatch mani that I wore comes from ILNP. This is called Hypnosis, and Dreamland Seawinkle. So looking at these, you wouldn't think they would go together, but they actually really did, because there's a lot more blue in the ILNP than there is the brown to me. This polish is getting mixed reviews because people are saying that the blue and orange flip doesn't come out as much as the purple and the blue, but I love all the nuances in this polish. I would say this is more of a fall polish than summer though. And the Dreamland Seawinkle, this is such a beautiful polish. I actually put this on my friend too, and she did enjoy it. She doesn't paint her nails too much, but this did stay on her nails for some time, and she does a lot of work with her nails, so that was nice. This also came back for PPU Rewind with good reason. This is a lilac purple with a strong blue shimmer, kind of shifting to green a little bit there too. So I just thought these two went together really well because of the blue magnetic pigment that's in ILNP's Hypnosis. So I did wear this for quite some time, especially Hypnosis. I really enjoyed this so much. ILNP is really stepping up their magnetic game, and they're doing quite well with it. Can't say enough. They're almost on the same level as Clearnod Cosmetics when it comes to magnetics, but I think Clearnod Cosmetics takes them to a whole new level. But it's definitely very, very close to ILNP's. And ILNP just started releasing magnetics just a few years ago, but now they have so many now. They have a new one for their Halloween theme called Twisted. I was a little disappointed there were magnetics again because I wanted to see something a bit different, but still they're all really pretty. But Hypnosis is just the star of that Alice in Wonderland collection, so I did really enjoy these two together. They were beautiful. And the very last pick I wore comes from Dawn Polish. This is called Jazzy Jewels. I had to end the month of July on a mermaid pick, you know, and this was beautiful. The shifts in here, you could see every single one at every angle. You didn't have to look that hard. It was just in your face. Definitely looked like a mermaid's tail as well. The flakies in here are just jam-packed and they layer so well. Dawn Polish is just an outstanding brand, and the owner is such a sweet person as well, so it makes it even easier to buy her polishes. I got this in a mystery purchase from nailstuff.ca, and when I pulled it out, I wasn't sure if I'd like it. So when I finally got it on my nails, all the shifts were just so gorgeous. I cannot say enough about this polish as well. It doubles as a topper because the first coat is so thin. This took about 3 coats, which I didn't mind. And once I put the third coat on, I was sold. The shifts in here were just absolutely insane. They were crazy. But even with the third coat on there, I still thought it was just a bit kind of not patchy, but there's still just tiny bit of bald spots. So I think I'll just have to wear a green or a purple under this because I see myself using this quite often. It was just such a nice polish, and you know your girl, she likes her mermaid polishes, so this is at the top of the list for my mermaid picks in my collection, and I'm so glad I didn't destash it. So that was Dawn Polish's Jazzy Jewels. So August was much more of a shorter month. I didn't have any mismatch maddies this month, but I still basically liked every single pick. And the first one we're talking about comes from Essie. This is called All Daisy Long. This one came out in one of their fall collections some years ago, and I wore this to my friend's wedding at the beginning of August. And this is a pearlescent white, and it has a shift of kind of like this pearly pink and orange and green shift. This looked so elegant on my nails, and the dress that I wore, this is a great wedding color. I have all of my Essies alphabetically organized on my Google sheet, and this was at the top of the list. I couldn't wait to try this on. Essie comes out with a lot of interesting white polishes. One of them that comes to mind is Marshmallow, which is a white jelly, and Cabana Boy, which is a pearlescent gray, white kind of jelly formula, and I love that one from Essie. It's such a nice winter shade. So I have faith when it comes to Essie's white. And this one with all the shifts in here, because you don't really see, no, we see a lot of polishes with white shifts in it, but not the one that this one has. So I think for me, this one is very unique to my collection and unique to the Essie brand altogether. It is a beautiful wedding color, a beautiful white summer polish. I love whites in the summer. They really just get your nails noticed, and not just being stark, but by being elevated with shimmers too. So that was Essie's All Daisy Long. After that, I threw on a gorgeous Garden Path Lacquers. This is Told the Northern Lights to Keep Shining. This was a PPU pick from last October for, I think it was World Wonders or something like that. Or Natural Phenomenons, that's what it was. So this is based off the Aurora Borealis. Garden Path comes out with some really interesting finishes. And I always gravitate towards them. I just don't always pick them up because we're buying less and trying more. And this one was gorgeous. It has a fuchsia base with some matching glitters in there with a strong bluish green shimmer. So I had to wear this for a couple days to know if I really liked it. So at first I was kind of like, it's not looking as great as it is on the swatch pictures, but as I wore it for 3 or 4 days, I think 3 days, I ended up loving it. Seeing it on all lights, I was just like, yeah, this polish is hot. It's really nice for summer too, and I think I'm gonna have to get this on my toes. I think this could lean towards a fall polish too, because the fuchsia in there is quite dark. It's not as bright, I guess, and that's why I just wasn't wowed by it by first, because I wanted the fuchsia to be brighter. But I actually do appreciate how dark and vampy this can be as well. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Maybe it could be a transition shade from summer to fall. I don't know. But I do know that I did enjoy it in the end. So that was Garden Path Lacquers, Told the Northern Lights to Keep Shining. Okay, another fave of the year comes from BCB Lacquers. This is called Beyond the Sunset Leads My Way. And like I said, I am not a fan of neons, but this particular neon with the shimmer in there that's pink, that just glows against that subdued neon base. This was so gorgeous. I wore this to my cousin's bridal shower, and in the sun it looked beautiful, and also matched the dress that I was wearing. So happy accidents all around. Well, it wasn't an accident, it was totally on purpose, but you know, it's nice when your polish and your outfit goes together. This was just so vibrant and bright. I've worn this on my toes as well. I think this is one of those polishes where I would, you know, have a matching aesthetic on my toes and on my nails. It just looks so cute and girly, and it is the perfect toe color. Like I said, this might just become a toe color for me in my collection, something that I will always see myself taking to the salon, just like the Dreamland Lacquer Shake Your Shamrock. But I did also enjoy this on my fingers as well. So I think when I do wear this again, it's gonna have to go on my nails the same time, you know, just to get all that gloriousness all together at once. So that was BCB Lacquers, Beyond the Sunset Leads My Way. One of 2 polishes I wore on my toes in the month of August comes from Crack Polish. This is called 23 Flavours. This is a bright cherry red. It's kind of on the metallic-y side a bit. This was really pretty. I think this makes for a great Christmas color as well. So I'm probably going to get it on my nails in the month of December, because I do like wearing brighter reds on my nails during the Christmas season. I don't really like the darker reds really. Maybe if it's a nice cream, but I like to save those just for, you know, the fall months, because we get more into winter in December. But this is such a gorgeous color. I think it's a bestseller for a reason, and it lasted pretty long on my toes as well. So we'll have to see the longevity on my fingers when I get it on December. So that was Cracked Polishes 23 Flavors. Another mermaid pick, you guys know I had to do it. This is Mooncat's Catfished. This one had so much depth to it. I was not shocked. I knew I would love this because it came out in her Mermaid's Tale collection, and I almost bought that whole collection except for Bermuda Triangle. That one wasn't speaking to me as much. This one can be used as a great topper as well because it is quite sheer, but there was a lot of shifts to this as well, and there's a bit of a fill line as well. You can kind of see it there a little bit because this took about 3 coats with how sheer it is. But there is a lot going on. There's a bit of a silver shift, and then there's also a blue and purple shift, and just, I want to say there's a slight bit of hollow in here, but yeah, there's a slight bit of hollow, but it's not that noticeable. But I could do without it because the shimmer in here just sings. This is a beautiful polish. I like to look at reviews at Mooncat, and people had mixed reviews about this one, but I think it's quite lovely. I did wear it on my nails for about 4 days because I'm a mermaid girl, so I knew that this one would stay on my nails for a while. So that was Mooncat's Catfished. Another one from Crack that I did put on my fingers. This is Where's My Bliss, and when I put this on, I completely forgot this was a jelly. So when I applied it, I was like, ooh, I was pretty excited because I do love jellies a lot, but turquoise jellies or turquoise in general, looks pretty good on me for the most part. There's some that don't look as great, but this one was absolutely beautiful, and I was so happy that it was a jelly. I know Cracked has a whole jelly line. It's called Jellies of the Month, so she adds like a new one every month, and I really like that. I'm not sure if that was part of that. If this one was part of that, I don't think it was, because this one was a part of a collection that wasn't in that monthly release. But either way, gorgeous. I put this in my comparison video of polishes I'm thinking of comparing and destashing, and this one's not going anywhere because it's one of the only turquoise jellies I have in my collection, and I wore it for a good week on my nails because I just loved how it looked. It was really pretty. So that was Crack Polishes Where's My Bliss. After that, I wore 2 back-to-back transition shades that I put on my transitional rack this year. And the first one comes from Fair Maiden. This is called Lucid Dream. It's a bit similar to Kathleen and Co.'s Follow Your Dreams, but this one has a ton more pink in it. And the shifts in here were beautiful. I went on a wine tour, so I was outside a lot in the month of August, and when I was on the wine tour, and this one in the sun, you could see all the shifts in here. There's a blue shift, there's a green shift, there's even a subtle bit of a yellow shift. This was really interesting. I knew when I first opened this, when I got it in the mail, I gasped because all the shifts in here were just so good, and I knew I was going to put it on my transitional rack or my summer rack, but it made it to my transitional rack because, you know, how could I not look at it? It's warm. It's warm toned enough to be on the fall side, but just bright enough to be on the summer side as well. So it was perfect for the month of August. I did love this one a lot. So that was Fair Maiden's Lucid Dream, and it had a marvelous formula. After that, I threw on another one from China Glaze. This is called Meet Me in the Mirage. This is a copper tone rose gold metallic finish. Very interesting. This was giving me complete indie vibes, and this China Glaze is special to me because it came out in this Desert Escape collection, hence the name Meet Me in the Mirage, and this one was the hardest one to find out of that entire collection. Of course it was, because it was the one I wanted the most. Life is always like that, but I was happy to get it. The only beef I had with this one is that it's a bit brush strokey, so you want to make sure if you do have this in collection, you haven't tried it yet, you really want to give the polish time to dry in between coats, and even before you put on a glossy top coat as well, because it can kind of smudge a little bit and just leave like brush strokes. But other than that, the only really brush strokey one was my middle finger, but it's not too noticeable. But I did enjoy this one so much. It was a very regal looking polish. It just looked really fancy, and I loved how it made my skin tone look as well. It really, really looked good on me. Not to toot my own horn, but it did. This one is definitely one of my top picks from China Glaze in my collection now. It's absolutely stunning. So that was Meet Me in the Mirage. The second toe color I put on comes from Great Lakes Lacquer. This is called The Sun Will Rise and Warm You Today. It is actually still on my toes. It has such an interesting duochrome flip. It goes from a lot of blue to a really glassy looking green. This one I think could be a nice pick for Halloween too, because it kind of reminds me of the one she put out I think it was last PPUing, and I decided not to get that one because this one was pretty close to it. Great Lakes Lacquer is at the top of my list for shimmers. When I think of shimmers, I think of Great Lakes Lacquer. She does them so incredibly well. I think most of the Great Lakes Lacquers I own in my collection are all shimmers. So I'm going to have to get this on my nails very soon. I was going to say it's similar to the one I have now, which also has a blue frip, but it's definitely more green. And this one is more on the cool tone side. It's not as Slytherin green has this one, which is Mooncat's Serpents of Eden. But the flip on here really showed on my toes as well. This is a beautiful color. Great Lakes Lacquers is one of those brands I kind of try to not get too invested in because there's a lot of FOMO with the brand, unfortunately. So when I really see a color that I want, I kind of try to find a dupe from another brand. But when I can pick up her polishes, which isn't often, I will pick them up, and this was one of my top picks from her. So that was the Sun Will Rise and Warm You Today. And the very last polish I wore is another transitional one for me. This is Polish for Days Angel Wings. This is the only polish I got from the makers that were bringing back polishes back to their websites for PPU rewinds. And I really wanted this one. It wasn't speaking to me as much when it came out originally in the Deadly Plants theme for January 2024's polish pickup. But as I kept seeing swatches of it, I knew that I wanted it. Even though I have a similar one by Bee's Knees Lacquers, it's called Act of Wrath. That one has more of an orange base. This one has a pink base and a bit of an orange base, so it's two in one, but it's definitely more pink with that brilliant shimmer that goes from green to a bit of blue. The flip in here is gorgeous. I actually did go to Eastern Canada at the end of August, and I wore this for the whole long weekend that I was there, like Labor Day weekend, and I did not want to take this off. Even when I came back from my trip, I still wore it 2 days after. So this was a nice send-off to August to September. It was a beautiful transition shade, and I'm so happy I have this in my collection now. It is such a beautiful polish, and the longevity on it was absolutely stunning. The only thing is that I do need to wear a blurring line base coat. I really should just make a rule to do that with all shimmers, because shimmers are just usually like that because they need to shine against the base, so they have to kind of be a bit translucent. So I shouldn't be surprised. I just always forget to wear a blurring line base coat. So maybe that should be a goal for me next year, to remember to wear a blurring line base coat with my shimmers, you know? But anyway, this one was beautiful. So that was Polish for Days Angel Wings. All right, guys, that was it for this video. Hope it wasn't too long. I'm looking at time and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna have to edit a lot. So anyway, thank you so much for staying to the end for another monthly manicure video. If you did, I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care.